All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Got about a minute or two after the hour, so we will get things going. My name is Tom Vukovich with Insurance Network America. I'd like to welcome everyone and thank you for joining us today on our call, New Selling Opportunities in Underserved Markets. And this is including the ITIN market and the multicultural markets. Our speaker today has some very unique opportunities for your practice that have been literally exploding over the last couple of years. Really excited to bring this topic to everybody, especially in the Spanish-speaking market and the Hispanic market. For those clients and prospects, this has been a huge growing area. Today we're going to examine all of these opportunities, and you will walk away with some strategies for your clients that can help you grow in these underserved markets. Our speaker today is one of INA's longest standing partners in the business, Steve Walther. Steve serves as the National Recruiting and Training Director for the Alliance Group and the National Life Group. For all of those familiar names on this call, I want to sincerely thank you for your partnership in your business. For those on the call that have not yet contracted with Insurance Network America, my ask of you is to give us that opportunity to earn your business, and hopefully today we can get there. During today's call, if you have questions while Steve is presenting, I would ask that you please submit them through the GoToWebinar menu, which is more than likely on the right side of your screen. We'll take a few minutes to answer questions at the end of Steve's presentation. If there's anything pressing, we can ask it along the way. But again, our number at Insurance Network America is 800-456-7999. And then at this point, I will gladly introduce and hand things off to Steve Walther from the Alliance Group. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us on this short holiday week, and appreciate you being here. As Tom said, we're going to talk today about an opportunity that if you're working in the foreign national market, or you're working with folks that are here and maybe have been disenfranchised with the system and not been able to get insurance or financial products before, we're going to talk about how you can help more people in your community. Before we dive into that, I want to share a couple different things. First off, we're going to be talking about cultural, different folks from different countries and different things, and you have a guy named Steve Walther here talking to you about it. We do have a team of folks that do speak Spanish, so for you or your clients that want help in the Spanish market, we have a dedicated marketing person on our team that she does everything for our Spanish speakers. And believe it or not, if anyone works with any Brazilians that speak Portuguese, we have some folks that help on that side as well. So I want to throw that out there. And then secondly is, you're probably wondering, who is the Alliance Group and how do we fit into everything? Well, the Alliance Group is a marketing group that helps a few and works with and teams up with a few of the top IMOs around the country on marketing specific products and specific training like we're doing here today. So because you're with INA, you get access to the Alliance Group, and you get access to the services and the marketing and the materials that we have for you. So another reason to work with INA, and another reason that they do such a great job for you and are bringing you more outlets and more opportunities, as today as an example of the goodwill and the good team that you're with. I work with a lot of different IMOs around the country, and rest assured that you're working with one of the top ones out there, and they really do bring you a lot of things that other folks don't do, proactively bringing you new ideas, new concepts, and new markets like we're talking about today. So I wanted to kick that off, give kudos to INA Insurance Network and everything that they're doing, and before we kick off to what we're going to talk about. As we all know, let's focus on the Hispanic market right now. We all know that the Hispanic population in the United States is growing tremendously. I saw a statistic recently that I think there are more babies born in the United States right now of Hispanic descent than there are of all of the other backgrounds out there. So this, no matter what you think one way or the other, this is what's happening. And there are a great deal of people that need our help, and that just like everybody else, they want to protect their families. And we now have an opportunity to do that. Historically, is people without a social security number couldn't do anything financially in the US markets. And now that has changed. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So as we go through this, if you have clients that fit this market, pay close attention, ask questions, or give us a call, or give your marketing, your marketer back at INA a call. We've been sharing with them some of these things. Give them a call. They can get you up to speed. And then if you want to get in this market and you're not, I suggest that you start talking to somebody to bring into the market to work with you that maybe is a Spanish speaker if you're not. What we have found, the people that are having a great deal of success with this, is a lot of times they'll get one client that fits this situation, and they know other people, and it mushrooms into a whole bunch of different new prospects. And because people have not had this opportunity to do this before, it's all brand new to them, and they're excited to share what they're doing with their friends and family and neighbors and everybody they know, in their churches, at their work, everywhere. And one case will turn into 100 in short order. The other misconception that I want to throw out there is that these are all going to be very small cases exclusively, and is it worth your time to do it? I want to share with you that is not the case. A lot of cases are smaller cases. A lot of cases are term or very small UL, but not all of them. We have actually done very, very large cases planning for folks that are undocumented, that have ITINs, but they own a business here and they're doing really well and have never done anything with regards to financial planning because they haven't been able to. So don't necessarily discount this by thinking that they're going to be only small cases. I worked on a case a couple years ago of a guy in the Bay Area that he was earning, not total sales, but he was bringing home, his take home was $1 million a year. He had a manufacturing company, and he was undocumented. He had an ITIN. He had 20 to 30 employees, and was doing really, really well, and had done no planning or no insurance products to protect his family or anything. And so a sizable case, and that's just one example. There are a lot of small business owner clients, Hispanic owners, that maybe a spouse doesn't have Social Security, Social Security number, so they haven't done any planning. So again, think about this in a new way. Think about different people you can approach. Think about different people that you may be able to bring into the business and work with you if you're not in that market and you're not a Spanish speaker. So think outside of what you're doing on how to grow your practice as well. So let's dive into this. Let's see here. Here we go. So what is an ITIN? An ITIN is, it stands for Individual Taxpayer Identification Number. So in essence, if you are not a US citizen and you do not have access to a Social Security number, you can get an ITIN, which acts as a Social Security number with regards to employment. So if you have an ITIN, an employer can hire you, even though that you may not be here legally or you may be undocumented. There are a lot of people here that have this ITIN, and it's processed through the IRS just like that. They can't get a Social Security number, so they want to work, they can go and get this. Now, here's another opportunity to hear, if you know somebody that doesn't have an ITIN and they're here, maybe working under the table, and they want to be able to work over the table. A lot of tax planners, CPAs, accounting offices can apply to get them an ITIN, and it's usually $100 to $300. They'll file the paperwork on behalf of the person, get it all set up. This is not for sure, but a lot of people feel that if you have an ITIN and you're here and can document how long you've been here and that you've been working and are doing everything the right way, it's a quicker path to citizenship as well. So I can't tell you for sure that is the case, but most people that are professionals in this, That's the general feeling and consensus is if there is an opportunity for citizenship, you can say, listen, I've been here for X amount of years. I've been employed. I don't have any illegal issues or anything. You can see right here how long I've been here. You know, what do I need to do to get on board for citizenship? So a few times in the past, there's been where we've had mass ability for people to get on and get their social security number, get their citizenship and do that. This is a great path towards going that way. So I want to be clear on this. You may be here undocumented, but with an ITIN, you can work and qualify for certain financial products. And this is what's exciting and what we're here to talk about today. So before, if you did not have a social security number, you could not buy any US financial products. You couldn't buy life insurance, you couldn't buy annuities, you couldn't buy brokerage accounts, you couldn't do anything without a social security number. There were some caveat carve-outs for foreign nationals where maybe they were a foreign national, but they owned a business here or they had substantial holdings in the US. But those were very narrow, and that is still the case with a lot of folks, but that's a real narrow section of the folks that are here and fit this situation. So before you couldn't do anything, but not the case anymore. There are about, I want to say 7, 8, 9 years ago, there were a few carriers that entered this market, but most of them were B-rated companies. And they kind of got into it, and over time, the insurance companies realized that the mortality experience with these cases weren't really any different than the general population, the US citizens. So more companies started opening it up. And about, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago, National Life Group, LSW, decided to get into this market, and they have been doing it ever since, and it's been growing and growing. Now, I want to point out something. If you go on the National Life Group's website, if you go into their underwriting brochure, nowhere will it mention this and what we're talking about today. They're not broadcasting it because they don't want to be known as the company that focuses on the undocumented. But they're in practice, they're doing it. They're just not putting it in print and advertising it. So what we're talking about today here is something that you'll have to reach out to INA or reach out to us, and we'll help you go through the process. But you're not going to find anything in the literature about this. So this is kind of something that we have access to, but it's not highly broadcast out. So they do have other requirements, and the prospective clients must meet certain criteria before they can qualify. So there are some things that we have to make sure that the client fits the situation. And again, we're focused on, in my examples and everything I'm talking about, I'm focused on the Hispanic because that's the largest number, but there are a lot of folks from Africa. There's a lot of folks from India. There's a lot of folks from other places around the world that fit this criteria as well. And we do a lot with again, I think I mentioned before, the Portuguese speakers from Brazil. So there are a lot of other groups, but I'm primarily going to, if you hear me in my examples, be using Hispanic because by and large, they're the largest group that we work with in this arena because they're the largest group that are coming here. So National Life Group, LSW, I'm going to take a little time out from that, from the presentation and kind of talk about that. You'll hear me today talk about National Life Group and LSW interchangeably. National Life Group is the mothership company. Life of the Southwest is the company from which everything non-New York is written on Life of the Southwest paper. National Life Group was a captive company, but they bought Life of the Southwest for the independent channel like we are here. And so the only time you'll actually use National Life Group paper is if you're writing a case in New York. Everything else you'll use Life of the Southwest. So if you hear me use them interchangeably, same company, same, everything's the same except New York, National Life Group, everybody else, Life of the Southwest. So National Life Group will accept ITIN on proposed insurance that are permanent residents. So that's really important. They will not take somebody that is here seasonally, somebody that's going back and forth. Even if they're going back and forth for work that maybe they have a job here and a job somewhere else, they want somebody that is here permanently. They must live and work in the US on a permanent basis. So that's really key. So if that's not the case, it's not a fit. So that's the first thing. you can submit business on paper app or easy underwriting platform. So just like any other case, the underwriting is no different, and that's something I want to really talk about. Make sure you guys understand this. It's not underwritten differently than any other case. It's underwritten just like they were here, a citizen. They're not giving them a different rate class. We're not doing anything different. If they can qualify for preferred or elite, they're going to get preferred or elite. So that's really, really important. The easy underwriting platform is really awesome. We have an online e-app that you can do it sitting with the client. You can do it with the client on the phone. Now during COVID, most people are doing this over the phone or on a Zoom call with a client, but you can meet with them face to face, however you're comfortable, however your client's comfortable. But if you're doing it online, meaning that you're submitting it, sitting down with them and going through the questions with them, if you do it, if you submit it via the e-app process, the initial part of it, it'll ask the client, it'll send them an email that they have to confirm that they received it, that in the information that it's them, and verify it on the front end. And what that does is it opens up the HIPAA aspect of it. So as you're going through the application, and let's say you're going through the application and it says, do you take any medications? And they say no. It'll go out, it'll search the records out there, the medical records, and it'll come back and say, hey, ask them again if they're taking any medication, because something's come up that says that they may have been prescribed something. So sometimes they go, oh yeah, I forgot I'm taking this, or oh, I was prescribed this, but I never took it. I didn't need it. I got, I was prescribed an antibiotic that I got better, but so I never took it. So, it's a great way to kind of proactively get to the bottom of everything. And also, like, let's say they're taking metformin, which is a medication for diabetes. If they see that they're taking metformin, it'll automatically pop up a diabetes questionnaire. So the purpose of that is the application process can be really short, or sometimes it may be longer, but what it does is it keeps them from coming back, like a week later and saying, hey, we need a diabetes questionnaire. And then a week later saying, oh, we need information from this doctor or from this doctor. So it helps get everything on the front end, as opposed to you having to go back and drag it out. We're getting most cases issued in 7 to 10 days. A lot of times they're issued the same day. A lot of it is underwritten via the computer software's underwriting. If there's very little issues and they do all the background checks and they do everything and it comes back positively, they'll make an offer the same day. The biggest problem we've had with this is the policy is approved and tries to draft before they put the money in their account. So it's kind of a good problem to have from that standpoint. So make sure you tell your clients, if you're doing this, is, hey, if this gets approved right away, you'll be good to go. And you can click in there, say, confirm with me before issuing. And then also one other thing, I don't have a slide on this too, is you can now do e-delivery on the policy as well. So the insurance company will send a client via email a copy of the life insurance policy too. So things are really streamlined. You can submit an application, the policy can be delivered to the client, that can draft from their account theoretically in 24 hours. Now, I'm not going to say it's going to happen every time in 24 hours, but it does happen. So the old days of waiting 3 or 4 months to get things done isn't the norm anymore. So the other thing too with National Life Group is, this is really, really awesome. Non-parametric exam up to $3 million up to age 50 on permanent insurance, on IUL, whole life, and universal life, and up to $2 million on term. So non-parametric exam. So your client doesn't even have to do a parametric exam, and they can still get the best rate class or whatever rate class they qualify for, they can still get. Non-parametric exam for $1 million from age 51 to age 60, and that's on again, term, IUL, UL. Non-parametric exam 250 from ages 61 to 65. Anything outside of those are normal underwriting. They're going to do an exam just like they would on, previously, historically. But pretty awesome for this market. This is not only for your ITIN, this is for everybody. So really easy to get business. And again, they're not throwing everybody into the standard. Whatever you qualify for, you're going to get. There's a little caveat with this, with the ITIN business, that we're going to get to in just a second, that I want to prepare you for on the front end. But this is all for term, IUL, UL, and whole life, all of our products, the same underwriting platform, all classes available. And here's the cool thing, all of our living benefits are available on all of them. And living benefits is what makes National Life Group unique and special, is they invented living benefits, the first company with them. And so on term, IUL, UL, whole life, every product that we have, every policy that we have has all of those living benefits built into every product. So again, I talked about that already. It was up to 2 million, but now 3 million. So I want to point that out again on all permanent policies, up to $3 million with no paramed. Now, I will say this, is if you submit a case with no paramed exam, it comes through and something comes up in their records, they can come back and ask for it. They don't want to, and very rarely do they, but there is a chance where they can come back. So the way to set that up with your client when you're taking the app is, hey, we may be able to get this through without a paramed exam. Let's send it in and see what happens. And right now, I don't know what the percentage is, but very, very rarely are they asking for it. But maybe it's something where the client had something recently, a medical issue, and they want to make sure the blood work is in line and everything is, you know, where we just don't have any records or anything that would show that they are now where they were before. So that's why one time where they may order it, if that makes sense. So again, some situations they may order it. If they in the risk classifier is the way that they gather information for underwriting information, public information that they go out and find. And it's really interesting. I think going forward, more and more carriers are moving this way because it's proven to be accurate and proven to be much less expensive than the traditional blood and urine and paramed formula. And when I say more accurate from public information, they've been doing now for the last, I don't know, 15, 20 years, all of these studies with income, zip code, and financial history. All of these different things are an indicator of life expectancy. And what they mean by that is, you know, if you've gone through 3 divorces and bankruptcy, and you've moved around a lot, and you switched jobs a lot, you may not live as long as somebody that's been in one job and is stable and has good financial status. And it also depends on where they live. Now, they're not going to say you live on this street or this street, but certain areas have lower life expectancies than others. So they take all of this stuff into consideration. What we have found sometimes is somebody is in excellent health, super healthy, but they you know, are terrible financial health, and they'll get upset when they maybe get preferred rather than elite. And it's really interesting. They've gone back and back tested it, and it really does shorten people's lives on average. And you know, we're dealing with insurance, we're dealing with actuarial tables. So I want to point that out. This is not just a trend with National Life Group, but with everybody. More and more carriers are working towards a risk classifier type of criteria for doing underwriting, as opposed to blood and urine and looking at it from that point. So something to look at going forward. So with every application, you should do this on every application, whether it's an ITIN or not. But just as a general rule of thumb, it's always good in talking with underwriters. You know, they're looking for stuff, and if you can write a cover letter for the underwriter that paints a picture of the situation, you're always going to be better. But especially with these ITIN clients, because they may not have a lot of public information, they may not have a bank account, they may not have some of the things that people that are citizens that have been here for a long time have. So it's important to say, you know, Juanita and Jorge have been here for 15 years. He's been working in the same job. She's been working here. They have 3 kids. The kids are in school. Jorge coaches the soccer team. You know, they're involved with their church. They've lived in the same address for this long. They're planning on buying a home in the near future. You know, go through all those, you know, kind of paint a picture of who they are and their situation. And it's the underwriter then sees them for what they are, as opposed to just the information on the application. So, you know, kind of what I just talked about here. How long have they been here? Put that in there. A little background. How many children do they have in the U.S. with the parents? The marriage status, employment history, the spouse's employment status history. How long have they rented or owned their home? And again, this is another interesting thing. Now with an ITIN, sometimes they can even qualify for a loan and buy a home where in the past they could not. Any other ties to the U.S., anything that they have here that holds them here, and we do not want somebody that is not here permanently. And we kind of talked about that. So make sure that that is written in the cover letter as well.
Steve, quick question, since you're still on this part of it, question came in that what generally is the time frame for someone to get an ITIN?
You can actually, believe it or not, they can go to a tax preparer and they could submit it and do it right away. If they just got here last week, they can go get an ITIN. It's really, it makes no logical sense with regards to being undocumented and being able to get this. But I think the thought process is, hey, they're going to be here, they're going to be working. We might as well collect taxes on. And the other part that makes it beneficial for U.S. and U.S. citizens is that they, even though they're paying taxes, they don't qualify for Social Security. So they're paying into everybody else's Social Security. So that's kind of the thought process. So if somebody is here, and if you, I have a few tax folks that if you want help, or if you don't know who to call and ask, I have a few different people around the country that do this, meaning that they will help people get their ITIN. So generally they need a form of ID, whether it be a U.S. driver's license. A lot of states have passed that you can be undocumented and get a state driver's license, or their passport from the country that they're from. So they do need some form of ID. But other than that, as soon as they have one of those two things, they can apply for it. And depending on where it is, it's generally between $100 and $300 to have somebody else. People can do it. You can do it on your own, but to do it the right way and make sure you do it the correct way to get it through, I recommend going to somebody to have it done. And this is another thing too, is with regards to the insurance company, because for years and years and years, a lot of these families and these people have kind of lived in the shadows because they were afraid of being deported and different things. And rest assured, and this might not even come up on their side, but it's important that you confirm this with them, is if they do this, the insurance company does not share this information with immigration or anybody like that. It's a contract between them and the insurance company. So it doesn't go outside of that parameters. Now the IRS is involved, but if they have the ITIN, they are anyway. But the point is this is not a way that can come back to bite them in the future. If anything, it helps them, since they are paying taxes, and even though they may be undocumented, they're at least doing the legal steps towards that. So again, it's not something that's going to come back and be reportable from the insurance company's perspective, if that makes sense. A great question. Great question. All right. So with regards to the living benefits, so again, on every product, a lot of these are going to be term, but on our term, UL, whole life, everything, all of the living benefits are on there. The terminal illness, chronic illness, critical illness, and critical injury are all built in. And this is even, I think, more important to a lot of these. A lot of these are, blue collar laborers that may not have health insurance. Now, I would never say that this replaces health insurance, but if they do become sick with something chronic or critical injury, at least they have something. And what I mean by that is if they have, let's say, a $100,000 term policy and get cancer or have a heart attack, they can accelerate the death benefit, cash money in hand to use for whatever they want, for treatment, to pay the mortgage, or to pay the rent, to pay the food, to pay groceries, to pay car payment, to pay gas, to pay whatever. It's cash in hand. So this is really big. And when the Hispanic market learns this is one of the things that helps with the sale of this, because they don't have, a lot of times don't have any protection in this. Now, again, I don't mean to imply that this replaces health insurance, because it certainly does not, but it is a safety blanket for something big that happens. And it is something that they typically do not have coverage anywhere else. So great on that part. The other thing too is, I don't know if I have a slide on this, so I'm gonna talk about it, and if we do, I will we'll slip over faster. But we're talking about life insurance here too, but also we can do annuities. And National Life Group, one of the things that they have unique on the annuity side is they do excel in the flow annuity market. And the flow annuity market is usually, most annuities that we sell are either immediate annuities where you put in a lump sum and it's paying a guaranteed income for a specified amount of time or life, or they're a deferred annuity where you put the money in, the money grows, and later on you're going to take an income from it. But usually deferred annuities are a single payment. You only have 1 year or less to get all the money in. A flow annuity is a deferred annuity that allows for ongoing contributions. So because these folks a lot of times have never been able to save money in a vehicle, in a financial vehicle like everybody else, an annuity is a great way for them to be able to start putting money away and save for the future. Now, permanent insurance can do that, or they can actually set up an annuity where they put in $100 a month or $50 a month, whatever the amount is, to start saving for the future. I think the minimum first year has to be $1,200 or $1,500. So you may have to put a little bit in up front and then do monthly. But anyway, the point of it is it's a great savings vehicle for folks that maybe historically have not had a way to save in American U.S. financial vehicles. So another good point for ITINs. So as far as rate classes go, they can qualify just like everybody else, elite, preferred, select. As long as they qualify, they do. One thing I want to point out, because these folks a lot of times don't have all of the financial touch points in the public information, they may be very healthy but bump down to a standard. And so I encourage you, when you're working this market and doing it, is even if they're a picture of health and everything's fantastic, quote standard, so then it's not a surprise, and it's easier for you to go back and tell them it's going to be less expensive. But on the ITIN stuff, I encourage everybody to do standard. The rate classes below that, the Express Standard 1 and the Express Standard 2, those are standard rates that have table ratings built into them. So if they're anywhere between table 2 and table 4, they're going to get the Express Standard. If they're table 5, 6, or 7, they're going to get the Express Standard 2. So it's just an Express Standard rate that has built-in table ratings into it. And then above that, they're going to get whatever they get. So I want to just point that out, that's what those are. And we do have a preferred tobacco rate too, which comes into place. People that are really healthy that chew, sometimes we can get them the preferred tobacco, or even smokers that are very healthy otherwise. But that is another option. So I want to talk really quickly about National Life Group because it's a company that not a lot of people have heard about. Fastest growing company, insurance company in the United States right now. 361 million of life sales last year. And these numbers are through 2019. So it is, we don't have the 2020 numbers obviously, but you can see we're growing, we're doing a lot. We're doing a lot of different things that make us really attractive to a lot of agencies and a lot of agents because of all of the different things that we're doing. Now, I mentioned before that we're the first company to come out and invent living benefits. In fact, an Alliance Group agent sold the first policy in the US with living benefits. I think it's now been about 21 years ago. But this last year, we paid out $3.1 billion in liabilities, including living benefits. So these aren't just smoke and mirrors things. We're paying out. But this is something, again, the thing that a lot of people haven't heard about National Life Group, it is being sold and being sold a lot. The number one provider that is really the 403B market, that first part of index annuities and the employer plans and longest standing issuers. So they've been longest standing issuer is in the indexed annuity market. They are not the oldest company that has been selling index annuity or the first, but they're the longest standing one that has been continuously selling it under their name, meaning that there's other companies that have been around longer, but they were bought by this company, then bought by that company, then bought by that company. So National Life Group has been selling indexed annuities longer than anybody under their banner. Number 2 in IUL sales. That's pretty amazing from the standpoint of a lot of people haven't heard of them. Our CEO, one of the things I've heard him say over and over again is you will never see our company on a stadium or on the side of a blimp. We want to be on Main Street, not on Wall Street. So they really give back to the communities, and I'll share that with you in a minute. And we're number 9 in size in life companies in the US right now. So again, big company, doing great things, growing. AM Best A+, S&P, A2, Moody's. So highly ranked, one of the highest ranked companies out there and doing really well. This one right here, I talked about doing good things. They're all about giving back to the communities. If any of you guys, a couple things that we can dive into later on, if you have a teacher in your community you want to nominate, they have a great program for teachers that they have teachers like the best teachers. They give the school and the teacher money, and they recognize them. And even if you're nominated, you get something that you can do a press release in your community that say so-and-so was nominated by Tom Vukovic in his town about being a great teacher to be the Teacher of the Year award, and it goes to the local community there. So if you have anybody like that, reach out to your marketing team and we can get you the information. But they're all about giving back to local communities. If you're doing like a breast cancer a run or walk or some sort of charity thing, National Life Group will actually send you a tent and material and giveaways to have in that booth. They'll do that for free for you to give you to give back to your community. So they do all kinds of stuff like that. So if there's anything that you're doing that you want help or support, let us know, and there's a good chance we'll be able to kick in and or at least give you materials for the gathering. So that's basically what I have on the ITIN. So before I kick into the marketing material and what we have for you on this, if you have any questions on the ITIN aspect of National Life Group, put your comments in there and then Tom can stop me. But I want to kick over now to
yeah, Steve, I got a couple of quick questions before you transition.
Yep.
There was a question that was asked, if a client has been in jail, I mean, do they qualify? I mean, as long as they have an ITIN, they should.
Well, it's just, you think about it just like any other thing. It depends. Just like if it was a client that had a Social Security number that was a citizen, if they were in jail, you know, it depends on when it was for, and it depends on how long ago. You know, if it was for, you know, it just depends. You know, we all have a past, and I think with time, the longer ago it was, the more likely you're to get underwritten. But if they were in jail for something, you know, like 6 months ago, probably not. But again, whether it was an ITIN or not an ITIN, that would be the same story. So it just goes back to regular underwriting at that point.
And how about if, kind of a two-part question, if they were in, you know, construction, maybe it's seasonal or the projects vary, as long as they have an ITIN, that shouldn't matter. And then also, if they're in the hospitality sector, maybe, you know, this has been such a strange year. What if they've been laid off?
Yeah,
that certainly would not affect
yeah, so
applying for coverage.
Great questions. Okay, if they're, you know, if they're living in the same house and they're in the construction, and I would put that in the cover letter, is I work with these 3 different construction companies, but it's seasonal. I'm a framer in the construction business, and we move around with where the you know, where the jobs are at the time in the construction cycle, and this is what's going on. But I've been able to stay here, support my family for all of this time, and you know, that way. If it's a hospitality thing where they are not working right now, then you have to ask yourself, you know, if they're not working and they're unemployed, are they going to be able to afford the premiums? So it's just, again, you have to look at it from the perspective of normal underwriting with or without an ITIN. If you had a client that came to you that was unemployed and looking for life insurance, the insurance company's going to look at that and say, well, where are the premiums coming from? So maybe mom works in a hotel, dad works construction. So currently mom's unemployed, but dad's making money. So so there's household income, and as a spouse, she might be able to qualify that way. And then also, so it can be also where maybe one of the spouses is a citizen or has a Social Security and one does not, that's fine. Sometimes parents don't have it and the kids are born here and are citizens. So it can be a mix and match as well. But just think about it this way: if they meet those criteria of being here, working, and living here and a tie to the community, then everything else goes back to regular underwriting. So whether it be the legal part of it or the employment part of it or anything like that, just think about it as a normal underwriting case and what's the situation, and you know, paint that picture as far as, are they going to be able to pay the premiums? Because that's what the insurance companies care about, because you know, most policies take three years before they're broke even on premium payments. So if a policy lapses in the first 3 years, the insurance company loses money. After they pay for the commission, the underwriting, the getting the policy set up, the delivery, all that stuff, it takes 3 years on average to break even. So if the policy is going to lapse after 6 months or after a year or after 2 years, in any situation, whether they're ITIN or social, they're going to look at it with a closer look than they would otherwise. Does that make sense?
That's great. Thank you, Steve. I'll let you get into the marketing.
Perfect. So you guys that are there, I want you to write this email address or this website address down right here: topsalliance.com. TOPS Alliance with the C, not Allianz, but alliance.com. And then the password down here that you enter is living benefits. One word: living benefits. Okay. And then enter that in there, and then this website right here will come up. And this is our marketing website for agents that's out there. All kinds of great stuff here. All the latest and greatest is coming up. If you scroll down, it's all right there. Here's a new video in English and in Spanish on video protection, or on mortgage protection. This is the weekly Take 5 is kind of what's going on, or the monthly, excuse me, the monthly Take 5, what's going on each month, the beginning of each month. We just had a small business training planning camp for people that are new to working with small businesses. It was a 2-day virtual meeting. You can go back and listen to all of that if you want to learn more about that. Here's how living benefits work in English and Spanish if you want to see how they work. And again, all of our Spanish material is not dubbed in Spanish at the bottom. It's all done by native Spanish speakers. Now, the interesting thing about native Spanish speakers in the US right now is, you know, you have different dialects in Mexico, you have South America. This particular lady here, she's from Cuba. So it's kind of funny that some people say, well, you know, that's not real Spanish. It's not from Mexico, it's from Cuba, or it's from here. And it's funny, my wife is from Spain, so I get yelled at in Spanish, in Castilian Spanish. And then when I talk to Belkis here from Cuba, she'll say, well, what are you saying? But, and by and large, they all are by native Spanish speakers where they're from. But we have lots of different material in Spanish that agents can use and agents can share. Some of it's agent focused and some of it's client focused. So just right there, you can send it to a client if they want to know more about how that works. You can watch it ahead of time. Again, how indexing works, English and Spanish, a lot of this is all right here. Great stuff. But the whole library, if you go to resources and then go to video, and then under the video tab, I click it. Okay, so right here, we have client testimonials, educational, marketing. These are all the ones in Spanish and Portuguese for our Brazilian residents here. But the client testimonials are really, really good. And I encourage you, not just you know, we're coming to this from the Spanish side, Spanish speaking side, but everybody that you work with, when you're talking about living benefits, I encourage you to go in and look at these videos. And each one of them is a little bit of a different demographic. This is a middle-aged business owner. This is this guy, kids, family, great, a professional. This lady, oh my gosh, this is a great story, and an overfunded IUL, how it changed their life. I won't tell you the ending of the story, but it's amazing. Breast cancer, this woman, this lady had a stroke, this guy had testicular, all these different things. So pick out the situation, the demographic that fits the client that you want to market to. Like this, if you know somebody that's maybe like this lady's demographic, click that right there. And from there, you can post on your Facebook, but you can send them an email and say, hey, Judy, look forward to meeting with you next Tuesday. Take a look at this video. This is one of the things that I want to talk to you and your husband about when we meet next week. And the reason I say pick the demographic that fits, because you don't want to send, the testicular cancer to one of your lady clients or your women client, or breast cancer to your truck driving guy client. Make sure you pick out the one that's the right demographic to who you're sending it to. And I'll tell you, when you go see the client, it's already sold. I mean, it's like they get it. They understand what it is you're there to talk about. So there's all kinds of these different stories in here, and they're fantastic, emotional. And if I can give you one piece of advice, it's send it to the husband and the wife. It resonates. Wives will read it, will watch it and say, we're doing this. We're husbands, we're like, oh, we know everything. We're experts, and we'll think about it, or which means we're not going to do it. So make sure to send it to the husband and the wife. You'll have a great deal more success. And then there's also over here on campaigns, when you go in, when we get off, click on overview. And this is a great program. If you scroll down and click this campaigns overview video right here, it's just 1 minute and 41 minutes. It'll tell you how it works. But basically, it's a drip campaign that goes through, and you can send one. So I'll go in and log in as me so you can kind of see what it looks like. I'm going to log in, and it has all of these. You can download an Excel spreadsheet of your clients with all you need is their first name, last name, and email address. And I can say let's say I want to send this one about mortgage protection. I'm going to say create. And you enter in, like right here, it has my picture, my information. So if you did this, it would have your information. You could put your logo. This one particular one, I'm doing it on the Spanish part, so it's in Spanish. But let's just say I'm meeting with Tom, and I have Tom in the system here, so I'm going to put him right here. I have Tom in there, and I can send that right to them, and that goes to Tom right there. And so it's already pre-written and everything. And here's the cool thing is I can then go up here to home, and I can track to see if he opened it or not. So he's not opened it yet. So I'm going to call out the marketing staff yesterday. I sent them a bunch of these examples. I can see that they did not all open them. One person opened 2 of them. So I can see right here, who's opened it, who has and who hasn't. And then so I can call, if I'm meeting with them, I go, oh, they haven't opened it. So when I meet with them, I can say, hey, I sent you that video. Did you look at it? And I know they did. And I say, let's just watch it again together. But you can follow up with them and say, hey, I want to make sure you got that video because it's really important. But here's the cool thing is over here, you could enter in your list of contacts. And like you can put 1,000 names in there, and you can set up a drip campaign, and they're already pre-written and pre-everything. You can change them if you want, but it enters the client's name and sends. Here's one for 100-day follow-up. There's 100 days. You could do one every 5 days. A lot of people do them every 2 weeks. Some people do them once a month. You could set it up. You can create your own. Here's some pre-done ones. But all of the marketing, everything's been done with the videos inside of them. You can also create your own. And again, none of this is product specific. It's not saying National Life Group. It's not saying company XYZ. It's all marketing neutrally about ideas and concepts. So from that perspective, it's all pre-done. Now this is I want to go back to home here. Let's see, over here actually. So this is we use a third party. We put all the information in here, but we use a third party, if you scroll down, it's to have 1,000 names, and you can send as many emails as you want. It's $25 a month. For 1,000 names, you get a customized website. All of this, unlimited emails up to 1,000 people in there. It goes up from there. This one, you get 2,500 people, you can put them in there. So there's a blog, how money works thing. There's all these different things that you can do. But if you don't want to use that, you can go over here to where I said before, just to the video part, and send a video with an email. You could put it on your Facebook page. Because you work with INA, you get access to this. We do ask that you get appointed with National Life Group in doing this. But you get access to this because of your relationship with INA. But those are the testimonials, but there's also these other great educational pieces. Like this particular one right here is mortgage protection. So anybody, if you work with the property and casualty homeowners insurance guy, this is a great way to tap into that market. We do a lot of mortgage protection stuff, mortgage things. And then here are just some simple little things about saving money, how a fixed index annuity works. Does not mention a carrier, but how they work. Here's how living benefits work. Here's, saving for retirement. Here's some in Spanish. So there's all kinds of things there. And then there's also, let's see here. There's under marketing. These are some really great stuff in here too. But these are all different videos that we've done. And if you sell a policy with us, and if you sell a National Life Group policy, let your marketing team know, and they'll let me know. And we'll actually, a lot of these videos, we can put your name and logo on them and brand them to you if you want. So let us know and we can do that. But here's one. Should you get IUL on your kids? Why would you want to do that? Mortgage protection, annuities, business. Oh, this one's great for business owners. Basic estate planning on how that works. So all kinds of different things. Now, beyond that, on the Alliance Academy over here, this is an amazing thing you can sign up for. But let's say you want to, there's some different courses. Let's say you want to learn how to use that Alliance campaigns. Here's a course in there that will show you how to best maximize the campaigns drip system. If you want to learn more about business planning, this is awesome. This guy was head of advanced sales with Transamerica for years and years and years, and now he's a consultant, John Oliver. He did this, and it's a multi-part class that if you want to get into working with business owners, it's fantastic. Underwriting 101. This is on illustrations with Insmark. That's me. So all kinds of different things in here, courses you can take. So if you want to get better, the only way you're going to get better is learn and hone your skills, sharpen your axe. So again, topsalliance.com, all kinds of great stuff in there. You have access. I would. There's lots of different training. There's lots of back training you can go back and watch. And again, the only way you're going to get better is to get better by learning and learning more about different opportunities, different markets, even some advanced training. And you can get all of that here on past training events, listen to them, and all kinds of different things. So I know I've talked through a lot of stuff at the wall. If you have questions, my contact information is right here. So feel free to reach out to me, or I encourage you to reach out to your marketer at INA. They have access to the same information and can help you get up and running. And once you get your first case through the door, it just gets easier and easier, and we're here to help you. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Vukovic. And if there's any questions or anything else I can help with.
Thank you, Steve. Fantastic. And wow, every time I look at that site, or you showed me a few things I forgot about on that site as well. There's a lot of great material there available, which just blows me away. It's just fantastic. The videos in Portuguese and Spanish. So thank you. I want to thank everyone that chose to join us today. Take time out of your short week with the holiday. And I want to thank our active producers on the call for your ongoing commitment and partnership. For those not yet contracted with Insurance Network America and National Life Group, I want to strongly encourage you to give us the opportunity to earn your business. I also want to take a moment and wish everyone a very blessed and healthy Thanksgiving. And our desire is to just extend that. We hope you're surrounded with your family and loved ones. I know it's a strange year, but just I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that. Blessings to everyone. If you have clients in mind right now that this could be a great solution for, you want to get deeper into this market, you want to get deeper into these materials, don't wait. Give us a call. Call one of our sales reps. We can walk you through all these materials, make sure you have what you need, and help you put some proposals together if that is the case. Our sales team will be following up within the next day to provide you these materials, but if you need them sooner, please don't wait. Our 800 number again is 800-456-7999. And I would like to thank our partner and special guest again, Steve Walter with the Alliance Group, National Life Group. And everyone have a wonderful week and a wonderful holiday weekend. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.